Still configuring.
I'm the only one.
No. Not me. Yeah, I haven't breathed any of that lovely fresh air out there.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Oh,
Jeff's on his way.
Excellent. I do have copies of the bid forms if anyone needs one.
Hey, maybe we can appoint Jeff to the commission after.
Jeff is a voting member, but we need to appoint Mark now.
But could Jeff be
He means as a private citizen.
citizen appointee?
Yes, he can. That's good. That's good because we're short one.
Yeah.
He's gonna need a hobby. Oh, come on, Brett.
Yeah.
No, I sent, you got grants.
Yes, I spoke to Grant and pointed him in the direction of what the process is. Yes. Yeah, and John, I don't think we're not waiting on anybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
FYI.
Sounds good.
Good.
We'll call the meeting to order then. We're ready to proceed. Okay. We have 2 items on the agenda. Approval for the sale of city-owned parcels. Should we do them both as one item or should we do them separately?
I'm thinking separate.
I would do them separate.
City
Okay.
clerk.
In case there's any
Yeah.
issues with one.
Okay.
Yeah.
They will be, yeah.
I think, no, I don't think so. No, I think one's on Crescent and one's on
One's on
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It is adjacent to the bidders.
Yeah, to the bidder's property.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with SPL 386.20-2-22.
And that's the Pennsylvania lot.
Is there any additional information that anybody wanted to share besides what's in the bid sheet? I don't know if staff had any additional information besides what's here?
Not really.
Okay.
You know if the bidders had plans to build a garage there or anything else?
They did not list it as a use for the property. Access to the, and how the bid process works is once I've received communication that someone's interested, I send the lot around to department heads. So Director of Public Works, Dave Leathers, everybody gets a copy of the information, and then they have to approve it before we can even get to this point. So if they wanna hold it for any reason, that would be the point where the action would just die at that point. So nobody voiced any objections to either of these lots, so.
Were these the only bids received or were there others?
We did receive bids once the for sale signs were placed. Those have to be up for 2 weeks, and it has to be noticed in the paper. We did receive other bids, and then the original bidder is allowed then, if we notify them that other bids have been received, they can then change their bid amount. One of the bidders did decide to go higher, the other one left their bid as it was.
When you say original bidders, do you mean, is that?
The people that are on your sheet
Yeah.
there, yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Collins on Pennsylvania, were given an opportunity to read.
Because they're adjacent, I don't know.
Because they were the first to
Oh,
inquire, yeah, so
okay.
the initial bidder gets one chance to
Understood.
change their bid amount.
Okay.
Did they go higher or
They did.
they are the highest bidder?
We received 2 other bids, but, which was, sometimes we see some interest, other times we don't really hear anything.
Yeah, I know
Sometimes the purchases don't go anywhere, so.
Yeah, you know, Chris will talk about doing an inventory of city-owned property and trying to
Yeah.
market some of those.
We've tried, we've had a few meetings to try and come up with maybe a more cohesive way of going through the process
Mhm.
where, I don't wanna say like an auction, but, certain times of the year people can bid. We're just trying to come up with a good list and work out the ones that need to be retained by the city,
Sure.
for municipal purposes, so.
Did these individuals then just reach out unsolicited?
We're just approving to kind of sell.
We need your recommendation to sell the parcel.
Okay. In the sense of planning, one of the things that I've noticed in older neighborhoods is that the changes that have taken place, if you will, in the city for many years, a lot of places do not have the ability in today's world to put 2 cars in, have a garage, all kinds of things like that in needing more land. And that's partly what in some neighborhoods has excessive parking in the streets, because we have more cars today now than what we did, let's say, 50, 60 years ago. And one of the things that should be taken into mind, in my opinion, is that if it is next to a house, it should go into that house. If there's a house on each side of it, split the land. But give the people more land on which they can live. It'll also improve the value of the houses in a resale, which lifts the amount of value of the house as far as they pay taxes and gives them a better living situation. But it's, this comes to me because of the kinds of work that I've done, including selling homes in the city as a real estate broker. It's one of the things that really chewed up a lot of deals even 20, 30 years ago, was that not being able to get adequate parking on a land, on a lot, if you will, and not having enough room for really the kids to enjoy it. I live on Howard Street. The houses on South Main have a lot depth of 110 feet, or 120 feet. The lots on Howard Street, fortunately I bought all the way through from one to the other, is 80 feet. They're all 50-foot lots. People love living there, but it's become a strain over the years, not adequate land for cars and other kinds of things. Plus, years ago, people didn't really enjoy cutting big lawns with real mowers. You remember those? Some of you older, some of you
I
younger?
have one.
Yeah, so, things like that, I think, really have to be, it's hard to take them into consideration legally, for the legal aspects. But looking on for the city to build, and for more people to want to live in the city, I really think that those factors that I learned all those years ago are worth considering, even if you have to change some rules in the law. I apologize for my speech.
No, no problem at all, you're making good points. So I think that means you agree with this, proposed to see the purchase price, right?
Right, that was redacted.
Yeah, that's it. And he'd like access to the rear of his building, it looks like.
Yeah, he owns a big old factory building on Chino
Oh,
Street.
okay.
Which
Is he
he's
doing?
improving.
Is the buyer, is he the one that's got the building that you can't get to the back of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that's what he's saying.
Yeah, he's got
Okay,
access
I
to
just wanted
Chino
to be
Street,
sure.
but not from the
Yeah,
back.
he wanted access to the rear of the building.
Yeah, I've been in that building. Put a lot of money into it, seeking more money from the city.
No, I think it's the kind of thing, it kind of goes along with what I said about other houses in the city. You know, everything is expanded for business too. The need for additional parking, bigger trucks, maybe to get in and all kinds of things. They need a little bit more land in many cases.
received other bids on this property?
We did, we received one other bid, from a neighboring property. But they did not, when I reached out to Mr. Clark, he didn't wish to change his bid.
So is it higher or lower?
It was lower.
Lower. No reason to go up.
No, and they don't know that, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't tell them what the other bids, you know, it's a confidential
Mm.
process, but he thought that he was comfortable with the amount that he had bid on the lot.
This was a lot that the city was looking at putting their DPW building slash ambulance bay, remember that?
Never give them up, but,
Yep.
yeah.
There were some problems with that. Jeff Lehman said that they had actually, the city had dumped a lot of stuff there, there were stumps and trees and stuff. So, well, it wasn't a good state of
That
sight
was-
for
No.
Yeah. So now we're moving forward on Washington Street.
You have to give preference to the gentleman who owns the building, he needs access to the back of it.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah, I know you do.
Must run the name the same.
Was this the same process where Mr. Clark reached out initially to the city
Yes.
to inquire?
Yeah.
Okay.
This actually started, the process started last year, and he had worked with, the Department of Development, just with regards to the business itself, and then he took a step back for a minute to kind of figure out what he wanted to do with the property, so then he started up again this year, so, with the bid process.
Thank you. Same recommendation on this one, fair to assume?
Yes,
Okay.
staff recommendation for successive recommendation.
Is there a motion on this one?
So, we
Motion by
gotta
Mr.
do-
Chapman.
gotta do it well.
Second, the first name.
Second by Mr. Tom Nelson. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any items for the, other items for the agenda?
Not officially.
Okay.
I guess I'll take the opportunity in my role otherwise, to let you know that the West Side, community convening is, this evening. You don't have to live on the west side to attend. It's at Lincoln Elementary from 5:30 to 6:30. But if you live elsewhere, your number will come up. We'll be, in the north side for our next community convening, and then back around east side, south side, and then back to west side. But tonight's the west side. And, so if you have neighbors in the west side, feel welcome to tell them that that's going on this evening if they haven't caught wind otherwise. And just a general announcement that Paul Andalora will be out for Planning Commission for April and May. He has had the opportunity to be teaching a semester-long trades class, which really kind of, is an extension of kind of what he's done otherwise. So he is committed to that until the end of the school year otherwise. The only exception would be is if there was a decision to change the day or the time of April and May's meeting, but that can be of further discussion.
Great.
I think that's all I got.
Sounds good.
Is there anything in the pipeline that might be coming for April or May?
Oh, they all jam together, so if you want to ask anything more specific in terms of what areas of the pipeline, or,
Just, yeah, if there's anything closer, we'll be.
well, we have our annual action plan events coming up as well, right?
Yeah, next week, I think.
Yeah, next week is the first one, which, the annual action plan, community engagement is, on the one hand required. We are obligated to do it for, our, purposes. But it also gives us an additional chance to connect with residents and community members with that as well. The
28th at 6 o'clock at Lillian Dixon.
Lane Dixon. So we've got that.
Any news on the Gateway project?
Yes! Oh! Did you know that I spoke to John Healy today? The cabinet the weather powder coating for the cabinet has been done. So we are one step away from the letters meeting the cabinet, and then the lighting meeting the letters. And I would like to think that we'll have a sign. I'd like to think that we have it by Memorial Day. That might be a little ambitious, but we'll certainly have it sometime this summer. So we are in the home stretch. It certainly sounds like, in terms of what John described to me today.
Oh, North Main, I see.
Oh, were you asking about something else?
I meant Water Street, I meant Water Street, sorry, I meant the Gateway.
Oh, the Gateway
Development
Oh,
project.
sorry.
But that's wonderful that you.
Yes,
that was on
yeah,
our
the gateway
agenda.
sign up
That
by,
was on our agenda.
yeah,
I remember,
yeah,
we approved that one too.
yes,
Right.
yeah, yep,
Right.
yep. We do have, just to put it on your radar, we have a, what is currently more or less a repaving project for East Second Street, by the DOT, scheduled for 2025. We, I am, in the process of trying to, facilitate further engagement with the DOT in terms of the fulfillment of the state and city's complete street policies as part of that project. So remember the numbers 5064.36